There are some spiders that even other spiders should be afraid of. The pelican spiders, so called because of a long neck and long jaw-like appendages, make a living by hunting and killing other spiders. Humans should not worry. The biggest pelican spiders are the size of a pinky fingernail, and most are the size of a grain of rice. They were first discovered in 1854 as fossils in 50-million-year-old amber. Only later did scientists realize they were still living in Madagascar, South Africa, and Australia. Those three far-apart regions were all next to one another before 175 million years ago, when the supercontinent known as Pangaea broke up. The spiders were probably around before the breakup. Hannah M. Wood of the Smithsonian Institution's National Museum of Natural History, with Nicola Scharf of the Natural History Museum of Denmark, recently published a report on the spiders in the journal Zookis. The researchers identified 18 new species in Madagascar from field expeditions. Below is a conversation with Dr. Wood that has been edited for length and clarity. Q. Tell me about pelican spiders. A. They're a really dominant predator, but on a very small scale. You can go out and observe them at night catching other spiders, and they're quite abundant. How do they hunt? All spiders, when they walk, lay a drag line. It's a line of silk that allows a spider to return to where it came from. I think that they're capitalizing on that. I think what they're doing is walking around searching for drag lines, and then they follow those drag lines and that leads them to other spiders. What do they do with those long appendages that look like jaws? The chelicerae. They have fangs at the tip. The spiders swing the chelicerae out, impale the prey with the fang at the tip, and then they just hang upside down with the chelicerae held out, with the prey struggling while venom's being injected into it. And they leave the prey way out there until it dies. It's kind of like when your little brother's trying to hit you and you put your hand on their forehead and they can't reach you. They're not taking any chances. You have to remember you're hunting things that are almost the same size as you that can potentially harm you. The prey have fangs that inject venom and silk that they can use to get you entangled. Spiders that hunt other spiders need to have some strategy toward getting around this, and it seems that this family has evolved the highly maneuverable chelicerae that are really long, and they attack at a distance, and that's the strategy they're using. And how do you get samples of these spiders when you're in the rainforest in Madagascar? You collect the spiders that are in the vegetation either by walking around at night and just observing them, or you take a white sheet that is held stiff by pieces of wood. You take a stick and you beat vegetation, and the spiders fall out onto that. And then there are species that are very cryptic and live down in the leaf litter. I collect them by sifting litter. I have a tool called a litter sifter that I shake, and I get concentrated leaf litter that I can spread out on a sheet and sort through by hand. Or I put it in another trap that dries the litter out, and the spiders fall down to the bottom. And do you use tweezers or do you grab them with your fingers? You can't grab them with your fingers or a tweezer, because spiders are quite delicate. Arachnologists use an aspirator, and they actually suck them up. But there's a filter. So, you suck them up and then you blow them out into another tube. Why is it important to look for new species in the field or even in museum collections? This is basic research, where you're really just going out and discovering what's out there, and then later, much later, is when you can make discoveries about venoms that can fight cancer or other things. This is really the first step. But I believe that these spiders are worth documenting just for their own sake, not for any sort of usefulness. What else is in the vegetation? A. Leeches. For leeches, you roll your socks up over your shoes, but I once went through this one area and I was just going along ignoring the leeches, and then I finally stopped and looked down and I counted, it was over 130 leeches I pulled off my shoes. But only 4 had gotten through. Only 4 were actually biting me. After that, I started checking more frequently. But once you've seen these spiders, it makes up for it.